What is up, guys? Welcome to MIDCONVO, the podcast where a lot of the nuggets just come up somewhere like in the middle of the conversation. Last week we had a pretty awesome guest, but this week we got some fire guests as well. We have Edgar and Gospel. They are part of a group, or I guess duo. They're musicians and singers. And they're basically called Cape Lions, right?
Yes, sir. That's
and they're based out of Seattle, Washington, in this area. But enough of me talking. Let's just go right into it. This is the beauty of the podcast. I mean, no real structure. Let's just dive right into it. So maybe Edgar go first, and then Gospel.
Yes, sounds good.
Feel free to just chime in whenever, though. There's no structure for this. So if you want to talk, go for it, bro.
Fire.
Right.
So yeah, my name.
I want to talk now.
So my name's Edgar. Puerto Rican and Venezuelan, raised by a Hispanic family, and music's been a part of my life. And I met Gospel at Northwest University at our college. We were in the same choir, and I mean, really not much to it. Like, played soccer all my life until like music started heavily, being a part of my daily thing. Like when I was 18, I'm 24 now. And yeah, we're Cape Lions. That's what we're doing.
Yeah, I think you said most of the things. My name is Gospel. We met at Northwest University. I'm from Nigeria, West Africa, and pretty much like we've been friends for 4 years.
Yeah.
And we always hung out in the car and we always freestyle, just like joked around, and like then we decided to start making music together, and we're here. It's Cape Lions.
What's funny is that like Gospel would always ask me to bring like my studio equipment to his apartment, but I never did. I was like so lazy. He was like, "Bro, bring your microphone. Like, let's record. Like, let's do this." And this was 2018, summer of last year. Yeah. And I was like, "Nah, like it's fine. And then just one day randomly, I was like, "Bro, I'm bringing up my equipment to your apartment," and he thought I was playing. And then right then and there, we knocked out like our first EP.
It's crazy because like we got Red Bulls. Shout out to Red Bull.
Sure, not a sponsor, but
not a sponsor, but hey, that started our career. So shout out to Red Bull.
Give us wings.
That's pretty dope. So you guys pretty much just like met at a really young age. I mean, you guys are still young. Gospel, how old are you?
23.
Yo, so we're all like the same age. I'm 20. I'm turning 23 in a few days.
Fire.
But that's wild. So you pretty much
to you.
So you just you basically just I feel like there's been so many like music things that come up like in this podcast right now. That's so funny. So normally we have content creators on here.
Yeah.
But I mean, you guys are content creators too, which we'll dive into in a little bit. But let's just kind of go back into the passion part of your guys' story. So I know that a lot of people, they struggle with finding like, I guess, their passion. They're like, oh, I don't know what I want to do. They get stuck working at some restaurant job or whatever, and they end up going to college or whatever. So that moment when you were like, yo, Gospel, I'm bringing up my studio gear. Yeah. Like, what mental headspace were you at? Like, what were you like, yo, we're going to become artists? Like, what did that process look like for you?
At first, it was so organic. We didn't expect anything to come from it. It was totally, I guess, quote unquote, innocent. I gathered all my stuff and we just did it for fun. And while we were recording, we were looking at each other. I'm sure we have videos on our phones from last year. We were like, wait, this is actually like kind of dope. Like, we kind of sound like some of these artists that are like popping off right now.
Yeah.
And, with time we were able to develop our sound and stuff like that. But it was totally, it's not like we came in knowing that Cape Lions was going to be a thing. We recorded and we didn't even have a name for ourselves. We just knocked out these 4 songs with like 4 random beats that we found online, and we didn't even have a name.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the most like organic, thing ever. It's not like we never had in the mindset to like be rappers or anything like that, or like, musicians or anything like that. Like, we just like, we always, as I said, freestyle in the car, and like he came to a day, I always would tell him to bring his equipment, and then he decided when I gave up, he was like,
yeah,
he waited till the last. Homeboy really waited till the last straw until he had to give up almost.
Yeah, so like when we recorded, we were like, this is really nice, and then we had friends and people from outside, messing with stuff, and we were like, cool, like
I mean, we look back on those songs now and we're like, okay, like they're dope, but like nothing compared to what we can do now.
Yeah.
It was a good beginning.
So basically since then though, since that beginning time, have you guys like performed live shows before? Have you guys like, how many people listen to you guys, or you know, what are your like most hit songs? Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, like, the truth is, I don't know how many people have listened to us. I mean, like, there's stats like on like Spotify, we have like over 100, and I don't want to 100.
We have over like 2 million collective streams and over 100,000 monthly listeners right now.
Yeah.
So we got people, and it's.
I think it's more than 2 million.
Yeah, it might be more than 2 million.
About 4, 3.
Yeah. But yeah, we've done some shows. We've only done about 5 shows now, but 2 of those shows were, you know, helped out by a radio station in Boise, Idaho. So that was our first, you know, like time doing a paid performance, which was insane. It was such a blessing. We had a blast. We performed with like Social Club Misfits and stuff like that. So it was super fun. And that was kind of our beginning thing. We're still getting in. We're trying to have a show actually before the end of the year.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, I mean, it's been crazy. We've only done 5 shows and we already have over like 2 million streams on Spotify, and that's not counting Apple Music, Radio Play, YouTube, SoundCloud, all that stuff. Like I don't really keep track of all of it. I just pay attention to Spotify. I don't know why, I just do.
I mean, I feel like that's the main platform that everyone's on, you know, like I could be wrong, but I personally only listen to Spotify. Like all my podcasts, all my music, everything's on Spotify. So I can see that happening.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah, and I mean, what was crazy is that funny I say crazy, because that was the song that really kickstarted our, like...
No pun intended.
Yeah, no pun intended. It kickstarted our career, like, we started heavily busting out, like, singles. So 8 was our first single, and that song did 100,000 streams in a month, just organically getting on, like, different playlists and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Then we come out with Crazy, and Crazy was the first song that got on the Spotify playlist, which that was like, oh my goodness, that was insane.
All right, well, this is a podcast, but like right now, I want you to send me the song like after this, and then right now, guys, we're gonna play it for a little bit.
All right, sounds good.
Boom.
Sounds good.
Think I'm going crazy, my life is amazing. Forget about the world, cause I'm tangled in a daydream. We on a new wave. We on a new wave. Think I'm going crazy, my life is amazing.
Yeah, so tell me about this song a little bit. Like, how did you guys come up with this idea, and what does that creative process look like for you?
I mean, like, I feel like after 8, we thought we were in a new wave. We just like literally thought that, you know, we felt like there's more to us. There's something that's, you know, we're religious, like something that God has for us, pretty much. And like, you know, we are in a new wave. It's crazy because like he mixed the song in the church. It's kind of crazy, but like it just was a perfect representation of like our lives at that particular time, because a lot of crazy things were just happening. It was like a transition, a lot of things happening, and we just felt it was a new wave. And like, I mean, the chorus says, think I'm going crazy, my life is amazing, forget about, like, we're on a new wave pretty much, like, you know, to sum the song up. And like, we just recorded that. Like, I remember, like, I mean, if I could be honest, like, I didn't, like, when we finished recording the song, I was like, okay, yeah, this is another song, but like, I didn't really think too much into it. You know, I wasn't like, oh, this is the hit.
So it's not like the movies when like you're in the studio and you like hit the finish button, you're like, yo, that's gonna be the hit.
I wish I could say that, but I'd be lying if I did. But
I feel like that's how everyone envisions their hits. But it's not actually. Really I feel like a lot of people they'll like release something, and then before they're like, oh, whatever, that's not gonna be a banger, and then that's the one that usually blows up, you know.
And like that happened, and we released it, and it came Friday, and you know, someone had messaged, was it me or Edgar, saying like, you guys are on new music Friday. And I was like, I didn't even know what new music was.
Oh, on Spotify, you're talking about the playlist.
Yeah.
You guys were on that new music. I listen to that playlist all the time, but you guys were on that playlist.
Yeah, we were on the playlist, and it was crazy. It was like, that was...
I had to park. I had to like, I literally...
I remember that. Like, I remember that because I've been following you guys for a while, and I remember, I specifically remember that time when I was like, yo, that's pretty wild. Like, because if you listen to Spotify and you know that playlist, like, it's curated. Like, Spotify chooses, like, handpicks those people to be on that playlist. So
that's fact.
And it was like, it was huge, like, you know, for two young guys making music, like we've at that point we probably have just been making music for 3 months, like, and it's crazy because most of the people on that playlist have probably been making music for years and stuff, and like it's like it was a big deal. Like
I'm scrolling down and I see Drake, I see Lil Pump, I see Post Malone, I see all these people, and I just see little Cape Lions just like right there with all these people, and we're like,
it was just like
it was a dream.
One of those things where like just two kids from Seattle, like living in Seattle, just like on the map, pretty much.
Yeah, that's really cool because I feel like, I mean, I've had a lot of people, not a lot, but I've had a few people on the podcast now, and I always like talking about like what their passion is, how they got to their passion, and it seems like everyone who has stumbled upon something they're successful at, something they're good at, it always just comes naturally.
Yeah.
So I feel like if you're listening to this right now and you're trying to be super calculative about how you're going to become big or how you're going to make money, and you're like, if that's all you have in your mind, it might not be the right thing for you. Like that thing that is just kind of you do mindlessly every day is probably the thing that you should probably be monetizing your passion in. So as I was kind of like that when I was first graduating high school. I'm like, okay, my first thing was like, how can I become successful? Yeah. Right. And then like photography was one of those things where I was like, you know, like I did it like every day. I just didn't know that I was into it until one of my homies were like, yo, let's just like do senior photos or just go out and take some photos. And I was like, all right, whatever. Like I have this camera, let's just do it. And then here we are now. So if you're listening to this and you feel like you're trying to be like, oh, what is my passion? If you have to ask that question, then it's probably not the right thing. You should just know. You should just feel it in your heart.
Yeah. I feel like we also like live in a generation where like, you know, through the internet and everything, anything that's trendy, like everyone wants to do it. Like, oh, YouTube is like really cool. Like, let's all get a YouTube. Oh, this is cool. Let's all do this and let's all do that. But like the truth is, like, you might be living another person's dreams, like trying to do that. And like when you start doing things like that, it's like it just doesn't get anywhere.
And it's easier to burn out. Yeah, like you burn out a lot faster.
Exactly, because like with music, like if we have to like, you know, perform at like 7 shows in a day, I think we'll pretty much do it and not complain. Like, you know, like it was crazy because the first time we recorded our first ever EP, we were in the room for how many hours?
Like
it was
2 or 3.
3 hours straight. Like, and if I did that in a chemistry class, I'd probably be cranky like the whole day. But like I came out of it like not even feeling like I was out like working for sure, you know, hard. And after that was the point I was like, this is like what I love doing. You know? And
that makes sense. That makes sense. So what would you tell someone? But I feel like at the same time, it's not a bad thing to try new things, right? Like if you find music interesting, if you find whatever interesting, like you don't necessarily have to fall in love with it, like in the beginning, right? You might grow to love it. Like what are your guys' thoughts on that? Like this is mainly, I'm asking them from this question because I'm sure there's people on the other end of this mic right now, on the other side of the screen, like, I don't know what I love doing. I don't know what my passion is. I'm just going to school. I'm just working.
Here's my thing. When I was 15 years old, I had a little flip camera. And with that flip camera, I filmed videos that this one YouTuber, this Asian YouTuber, he went by the name of Niga Higa.
Hey, throwback YouTuber.
I watched those guys religiously. And I wanted to be a YouTuber so bad. Eventually, as time grew on, I don't know if you can find those videos online anymore. I was so young, and I think I took them down, and my mom was like, no, something like that. I don't know. She's always been so supportive of me. But I kind of burned out. And that was when music started to just kind of come naturally. And I would say same with gospel. Like music's always been a part of his life, and it's just come naturally. So like at any point where I feel like I'm going to burn out, quote unquote, even with music, it happens because you're always stretching yourself creatively. Like you're always trying to create the next big thing for us, a song that was better than our last. Just take a break, sit back, don't freak out. Because like in due time, if it is what you're passionate about, you'll create something that you'll be proud of and that you'll have like, I guess for us, I'll speak about a song, like we'll just take a break. Like we need to take a break. We don't try to calculate what we need to do like to make a song that's better than our last. It just comes naturally. And so, I mean, for me, I did want to be a YouTuber, and I still do that today, like off and on, just for fun. But my passion is music, and it took me a little bit of time to find that. Like I played soccer. My grandma wanted me to play for the U.S. men's national team, and that was like her dream. She's like, I want you to play against Brazil. She's like, she loves like watching soccer. And that's what I did. But eventually I got burned out and I was tired.
To to add on to that, like you said you could grow. I mean, you could grow to love something, but I don't know if it's just like for example, like if you don't like your job and like you have to go to like a Microsoft or any. And shout out to everyone who works at all these companies, because like I have so much respect for them. But it's just like at some point you see people saying things like, I don't like my job, but they do it anyways. And they kind of, I don't think they grow to love it. I feel like they just like get used to it pretty much. So like with that, saying what he's saying, like I feel like there has to be that attraction to whatever it is that you're doing. You can't just start doing a YouTube video just because eventually you're going to grow to loving it. There has to be a little passion, because like spark, sometimes we all get lazy at some point. You might be like, there's no motivation to like record a video for YouTube right now, you know. But like if it's music, like I'm ready to record any day, anytime, you know what I'm saying? So like, yeah,
that's dope. So what man, that's so crazy. I'm so passionate about hearing other people's passions and how they came across it. What kind of upbringings did you guys have, like, growing up? Because I feel like a lot of people, too, they're always like, oh, like, the cards are stacked against me, or, like, or whatever it is, right? I think it's like, oh, we didn't. Yeah. It must be nice to have their life, you know? Yeah. Which is, like, it's not always that way. Yeah. So, like, what kind of, and we don't have to go too into it, but.
I mean, both Gospel and I had a very similar upbringing. I mean, long story short, our family has been very supportive of our dreams, but nothing was ever handed to us. Yeah. As far as the music, like, it's not like someone got us to where we are today. This has all been by like the hand of God in and of itself. The industry is so saturated. Every industry is like has so many competitors that you're competing with, like just trying to pop off like the same as you. There's someone out there, I believe right now, that is more talented than Gospel and I, but hasn't seen the light of day just yet. And you can't predict that. You can't force that. It just happens. And so, I mean, for me, yeah, I mean, I had a very religious upbringing, like Christian background. I went to church every day and stuff like that. But to be honest, for me, it was like wake up, school, soccer, and like watch YouTube and make YouTube videos, like just have fun.
Just normal
yeah, just a normal, like
nothing that like really separates you really in your upbringing from like anybody who might be listening to this. You know?
Exactly. Yeah. Like that, I just feel like this, like a kid that was born in Cincinnati, Ohio. Like that's just me. That's my upbringing. That's my roots. And so, all of a sudden, the past year has just been insane, and I don't know how. It's just been God, really. Just something happens and boom, it takes off. Yeah.
What about you, Gospel?
Yeah, like pretty much the same thing. We have like similar upbringing. I was born in Nigeria, West Africa, like another country. Altogether, my parents, in the ministry, like going to church was not like. It wasn't like even a choice. Like I have to, I had to go to church. I had to go to Bible studies. I had to do like everything pretty much, because like being a pastor's kid, like you have to literally like be there, and I didn't have a choice growing up pretty much. But like pretty much the same thing that he said, like just normal, like and the only thing is that I had to move to a different country, because I wanted to like just. I'm the kind of kid that when I was 15, I thought I was 20. I wanted that independence. Like, I wanted to just grow up fast,
Yeah, that's good. That's good, man. I mean, we're all a similar age, but we're kind of getting to that point in our life now where, like, you really need to start understanding, like, what your path is going to be. Yeah. Like, it's kind of, can't really play that guessing game no more. Like, hey, like, let's just figure out, or... like on the weekends, let's just do whatever. Like it's kind of at that point now where like our like very pivotal moments of our lives, like 23, 24, 25. Scary. It's like you're either going to set yourself up or you're going to be like chilling.
It's scary. It is. Really, really. It's crazy because like when you're young, you want to get older and make decisions. But
when you get older, you're
like, can I get 2 more years, a year more to like kind of get my stuff together? But it's like, it's cool. Like, I mean, I see you like doing being a videographer and what you do. Like, you already know, like, and we already know what we want to do, and just to encourage whoever it is out, like whoever's out there looking for whatever it is that they want to do is going to come to you. Just keep working
at the same time. We just graduated college too, so it's not like we dropped out of school or anything like that. Like we still were guided even by our own like parents, like bless their heart, like they've guided us in the right direction to just like, we've been blessed enough and fortunate enough to, you know, go to school and get our degree. So like we did that, hustled on that while making the whole music thing.
Yeah.
So we literally got on New Music Friday while we had class the next day, you know, like literally, like straight up. We had a show, we sold out on all of our merchandise, all that stuff our senior year of college. So we just, I don't know, we felt like it was something that we needed to finish.
It's crazy to like, not to come
No,
up, but to add on to what he was saying, there were like times where we had to like go to class, do homeworks, meet up to record.
Yeah.
And then the next day do the same thing. So it's like, yeah, we weren't like the type of people that's like, all right, we're gonna drop out of school. Like we were still like honoring those things that, you know, that God has put in our lives, and, you know, those little steps, and just, you know, putting that to work. And, you know, we're still like, you know, leaving our passion. So you can like do that too. I'm not saying that everyone has to go to college.
No,
you
I'm
know,
really
but,
glad. I'm really glad
yeah.
you guys shared that part, because I feel like nowadays with how social media is and how everything is, like everyone's like, nah, dude, like screw my parents, screw school. I'm gonna chase this dream. You know what I mean? And like, that's what the media is like forcing down our throats, you know, like chase your dreams, like screw school, you know, but like, it's really refreshing to hear that like you guys are where you are now, but you still, you know, you respected the pillars that were in your life at the time. You still got to get family's important, God's important. Like all these priorities are still there, and it's all about your side hustle until your side hustle like passes your main, you know? So I'm big on that too. I went to college, I graduated, like I made sure that like I was making more money with my videography before I was like, oh, let's just go full send, you know? But that's kind of how it looks on the surface.
You just got to weigh your options.
That's not how it's not how it usually is.
Yeah.
Everyone who's smart about it, usually like they have calculated risk.
Exactly.
Definitely.
Exactly. 100%.
My it's crazy because like my dad would always say like, I mean you can still pursue your passion, but like you gotta like act in a way that if this doesn't work out, you have something to fall back on. And it's not like he is saying that it's not going to work out, but it's just like, I feel like our parents have been that kind of reality check for us. Like, we're just like cool because like they're like, okay, yeah, like they're excited for what's going on in our lives, obviously, individually, but like they're not like going to be like, hey, just quit school, like quit that, just put all your eggs in one basket. But like, obviously, they will be, you know, happy to see us being superstars and like, you know, taking this thing to the next level. But they've always been that voice of reasoning for us to like, because like it's easy to get distracted, like especially you put out a song, it makes New Music Friday,
we were buzzing, buzzing.
It's like you're like, I made it, I'm gonna be big, like in that. But like you always have like our parents to be like, okay, now like you still have homeworks to do, like stuff like that. Like it's like
crazy.
It's cool.
And I feel like I talked about this before actually with a few other guests, but you know, like our parents, like my parents were the same way. Like never like really like crushed my dreams or anything like that, but they were just that voice of reality, just like, hey, you guys still gotta go to school. What are you gonna get for your degree and things like that. And I always believe in this, like if you're a young one listening to this right now and you're like, yo, my parents don't support this, they don't understand. Like don't get bitter about it, because you have to understand, like, okay, you want to be a YouTuber, you want to become an artist. So like we live in a different time. Like our parents, like, think about it like this. Like, if they've never experienced it, how can they give you advice on it?
Exactly.
Not in, like, a way that's disrespectful, but it's just, like, they lived a good life. They gave you what you have. Yeah. They're just trying to give you the same. So you're trying to outgrow them. Exactly. And there's going to be some growing pains there. You know what I mean? So once you've done it, then when you have kids, you are setting the new pattern for your kids. And so that's just how generations grow.
And I think, like, you know, any young person watching right now, like, your parents, like, they want to see you blow up, to be honest. Like, they want to see you be a superstar. Like, it's like I've not seen a parent that would be like, I don't want my kid to be a star. Like, no parent would ever say that. Your parents would, if your dreams are first is to play basketball or anything, like, obviously your parents would tell you got to do your homework before you go shoot hoops and stuff like that. Even, like, music and all that. So, like, they brought us in here, like they took care of us when we were kids, and like even if like also because I know that there are some people maybe listening to this podcast who didn't have their own parents or had, you know, someone of some sort of like who played a parental role in your lives. Like, you know, all these people, like,
I'm that person now. Follow your dreams. Let's go.
follow your dreams, but also, you know, listen. Like,
Yeah.
you know, because at the end of the day, like, you can listen, like, you know, to everyone, because, you know, the people in your lives, like, pretty much, I feel like if they love you, they only at the end of the day want to see you do the best, you know. And yeah.
Facts. Let's transition. So a big thing that's been happening in your guys' life recently has been like a lot of social, I guess like engagement, social growth that's been happening. And I feel like, yeah, let's just open this door. I mean, there's a lot of things to talk about right now.
Yeah.
Let's first start with like where you guys stand with social media, where you are with it now, and let's just go. I'll let you talk.
So Cape Lines in and of itself, we only had 1,000 followers. We only had 1,000 followers about 2.5 weeks ago.
Wait, start over. You had how many followers?
We only had 2,000 followers on Instagram.
On Cape Lines.
Like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, okay.
Keep in mind, we still have all these streams and stuff like that, but 2K followers on Instagram, right? One day, I'm experimenting with TikTok, okay? And I make a video on, like, how to sound like Lil Baby. And that video, my goodness, it goes, like, crazy viral. Like, crazy. It's at 8 million on TikTok, gets reposted on Instagram, Twitter, like Facebook. Every meme page you could think about, like memes are, all these meme pages, whatever one you can think of, they posted it, right? Got to the point where even Lil Baby reposted it on his story. He probably doesn't even know who we are. He probably just thought it was funny and like reposted, but posted on his Instagram, and like the video literally just went crazy. And so after that, I made 2 more. I made one on like Travis Scott, Post Malone. That drove our followers on Instagram to like 35,000, and it pushed us on Spotify from 35,000 monthly listeners to over 100,000. So, and from that we've gotten label calls, emails. Like it's been insane. Like people that I look up to in the music industry, like, are DMing us saying like, yo, I really love that video. Like, love what you guys are doing. Keep up with the music stuff. So just put us on the map. And so now we have all this momentum now that we're trying to navigate properly. But yeah, I mean, shout out to TikTok. Like, y'all went crazy.
Yo, okay. Yeah. So collectively, if you combine TikTok plus the Cape Lines Instagram plus your guys' personal Instagrams, like, how much followers have you gained in the last 30 days?
Over like 1 million, over 1 million followers.
It's crazy.
Yeah. That's wild. Literally
crazy.
Yeah.
Over 1 million followers in like
I
feel like
3
it's less than 30 days.
No,
What is that?
It was about from the Lil Baby video. The next day I posted it, meme pages.
Yeah.
It was in the span of like 48 hours where all this stuff happened.
And also, like, it's crazy to add on to that, like, even with the whole TikTok thing that he was doing, like, I can remember there were like TikToks before that.
Yeah.
And those were funny, but like once he did a TikTok that had to do with something he's passionate about, something that we like literally joke in the car, just like, you know, just acting like all these rappers and just joking and laughing. I feel like once it was something that just came, I feel like that probably, that was like the most natural
it was the
thing.
most natural state I have ever been in my entire life.
The most natural thing that he did in his element, which is like in his room, like where he records and stuff like that. Just like he just did it. Dude. And it was the video that went crazy. It wasn't a video that, it wasn't like, he wasn't trying too hard to make a funny skit and post on like TikTok or anything like that.
Trampoline video.
But like, it was just like, I feel like when he was talking, I just felt it was like, because we were talking about this earlier on, how like, you know, doing something that like, it be the things that feels natural that just takes up. Like that was natural. And like, that was the thing that, you know, blew up pretty much.
Well, like some of those were just so funny. Like I'll play one right now. We'll play like the audio of one right now, good. And then like on the video we'll like play it real quick.
How to make a Lil Baby song. Step 1, we need a beat. Throw in some guitar. Now for my favorite part. Drums. Now for vocals, you can... Oh my God! For vocals, You can do anything. He's a little baby.
It's little baby. I'm a little baby. I just went poop, poop, peep, peep in the backseat. I'm a little rabbit and I go hop, hop. Give me carrot. Pineapple on pizza. It's so bad. I'ma throw up right here.
Turn the volume up. Press play.
Perfect. I'm a little baby on baby. I went poop, poop, peep, peep in the backseat. I'm a little rabbit and I go hop, hop. And I hop in the back. Give me carrot. Pineapple on pizza. It's so bad. Pineapple on pizza.
That's so crazy. Like,
Yeah.
the fact that you guys gained, I mean, the social following that came after those things went viral, pretty much that is what the epitome of virality is. Facts. Right? Like, and the fact that what's so fascinating to me is that you were able to like replicate it. Yeah. It's like a formula. It's like you literally cracked the code of virality, that like you did it and you tested it, did it again, and like it's just this it's this formula. Which kind of brings to the question, like, does everyone who has these engagement, these following, like, have they just cracked a code at some point in their career? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I think 100% yes. So for me, here's the thing. Here's something good and something bad. The good thing is that I was able to replicate it with Post Malone, Travis Scott, and the Migos. The bad thing is when with all the newfound attention, you can start to feel the pressure of outdoing yourself, and then you lose that creative spark that you initially had. So for me, I've kind of stopped on the whole TikTok stuff and refocused back on the music heavily now that we're getting all this traffic. But I think it was good. I think it was what we needed to get an initial push on the music. Yeah. I think yes, everyone at some point has cracked it. The problem is, what's the follow-up? What are you coming with next? And for us, it's Cape Lions. Yeah. It's the music. It's using that virality to drive traffic to Cape Lions. I think both of us, just real quick, I think both of us are like entrepreneurs at heart. So we wanted to see how we could utilize all this newfound attention to what it is that we're actually so organically passionate about. And that was Cape Lions. So for me, I found myself struggling to outdo my Lil Baby video on TikTok. So I've kind of put that on pause for now. It was cool to see that go viral, but now it's like, okay, let's take a step back and refocus on what it actually is that you're trying to do here long term. Yeah,
that's woke. It's super woke of you. I feel like most people just ride that until it dies, but that's you want to say something else?
Yeah, it's like crazy what he said. Like, at first we were like entrepreneurs at like a heart and stuff like that. And like, the reason why Edgar was able to make a video like that is because he's a talented, producer,
artist.
GOAT. I say that sometimes, but like,
I feel good today. We should do more of these podcasts.
But like, the reason why he was able to like do that is because like, you know, the music thing that we do, like, so like, you know, pretty much like that, like, was cool to just, you know, do that. But like at the end of the day, it's like, okay, I'm Edgar. I might have done this video, but hey, I'm a talented artist too. Like that's most important, like for me, because like for him too, like it's like, you know, like I'm a talented artist. Like he has done that. If he keeps doing videos like that, it could burn out of ideas. And stuff
so
like
that's
that.
why I'm just like stopping right now. And to add on to gospel real quick, we hopped on a call with TikTok, and they're like, you guys just set a new trend on TikTok. So now people are trying to recreate that. And to be honest, what I've noticed is that people are getting crumbs of the attention from that, but it's hard to replicate a Lil Baby voice. Like I spent a little bit of time like listening to his music, just like getting
really good,
getting the way he pronounced. Same with Travis Scott and Migos, like,
and the Post Malone one, dude.
Like
had me dead.
Like I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, but like you have like vocal replications that you have to do, like little things with your voice. You got to mix it properly, like give it the right EQs, the right reverbs, the right pitch correction, the ad libs, all that. Like there's a lot of pieces. It's hard to. Yeah. So anyways, what I've noticed is people have started to replicate that. And what I've noticed is it'll get them views. Some dude had like 600,000 views on one of them. I mean, Cape Lion stands with like 5 million. I'm just saying. But I guess what I'm trying to say, what I'm trying to say is that it's hard to replicate it. So there is a little bit of like work and I guess like talent. I'm really not trying to, but just talent goes into that.
So
if you know what I'm trying to say.
That's a lot of talent.
I'm just so talented. Like I don't know if you heard me clearly, but like I am talented. So I mean, yeah, I'm talented, and subscribe because I'm talented. So I'm talented.
Oh man, I'm dead. No. If you guys are listening, you guys well, if you're watching, cool. But if you're listening, now these are two really humble guys. Just from our conversation so far, you can pick it up. And honestly, like, dude, sometimes you got to get the gas. Like, if you made it and you did something that you should be proud of, like, you should get the gas for it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I feel like that's the problem. Is like most people in our culture and our society today, like they don't control that gas well, which is why we have these like super pretentious celebrities and all this kind of stuff. But like, if you just know how to control it well, then that's okay. But kind of I want to go back a little bit
to me being talented.
to the part of like gospel saying like you're also a really talented producer and just musician, and both you guys collectively. But I'm huge on this, what I'm about to say, which is that success is where preparation and opportunity cross each other. And
bro, I heard that like a few days ago. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. So like, I'm not the first one. I didn't originate that saying. I heard it many, many times before, but it's so true because someone could see your TikTok. Like, for example, like I've been following you guys for a while, but when I saw Edgar's, like when I first saw your first one, because I was kind of on TikTok, me and Wen were talking about it, we're like, yo, TikTok's didn't move, blah, 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 all this stuff.
Shout out Wen.
Yeah. Wen was like one of the first few people that I saw that was using TikTok, and he's killing it right now too. But I specifically remember, like I remember seeing your TikTok. This was before you posted like the Lil Baby one and all that stuff. It was like, I could tell that you were trying to have something like go viral, right?
Yeah.
And then I think it's just so crazy because like, your preparation your whole life with gospel as an individual, as together, but like your whole life as this like musician, as this artist, and creating all those beats, all those things that went well. It's like you just kind of like had an idea and it crossed.
Yeah.
And that's when like success hit, is when like you were prepared. Because yeah, like you said, like someone could see that for face value and be like, oh, that's super funny. But I guarantee you there's some people on the other end of that screen that saw those things go viral who actually make music too, and they're like, yo, this guy's actually pretty talented though. Like that's a meme, that's a joke, but it's really hard to replicate it just like that. And so literally it's preparation, meeting that opportunity of TikTok, which is what's, I don't know. Well, that's crazy. I think that's so fascinating because it's proving the formula. You know, it's like, it's proving what works.
Exactly. We tried to, like I said before, navigate that well. We've been getting comments saying, release this song, release a song. Like, honestly, Cape Lines isn't going to release a song that says I eat macaroni and cheese at night, or like
stubbed your toe.
I just stubbed my toe. Yeah, like we're not going to do that. But what's been so cool is how it's all translated to Cape Lines, which has been our dream and our vision from day one. You know, so yeah, I mean, it's
a vehicle now that you guys can ride to where you need to go.
Exactly.
Just talking a lot more, you know, about preparation. It's like, you know, some people, they say like, I want to be an artist, I want to do this, but it's like, what are the preparation steps that you're saying? Like for us, pretty much like we've been getting calls from labels and all that, but like we haven't really let that, you know, stop us from doing our own things independent. Like we were able to start our own like clothing line with an LLC, and like we're, you know, able to do things like that. You know, you don't have to have like millions of dollars in the bank account, or like you don't have to, you know, be a superstar before you start, you know, doing all of those things.
And you don't even
like,
need a massive record deal to
you don't
be
need,
living the dream.
Exactly. You don't, if it's your passion, you know, the money side of things should come secondary. Like the primary thing should be you just like having fun.
I heard the saying, I forget who said it. It was an artist, but he said, if you just keep doing what it is you're passionate about, the money, it just falls on your lap. Yeah. It just falls at it. You just got to keep working on it. Get the money, get that stuff out of your mind. Do whatever it is you need to do. Work a 9 to 5. When I first moved to Seattle, I was a dishwasher. Like I washed dishes at a small bakery by my house. I was a dishwasher, and then I transitioned to doing valet, just because the tip money was pretty good. Shout out. But I mean, then music started to pay more, and I would see that my royalties are going up, vocal gigs, songwriting, and I was able to transition into doing this, you know, full time. But yeah, I mean, the money, it comes. It just falls at the right time, you know.
I feel like the money falls too when you're like so organic about it, because like there's a lot of hustlers out there. Man, I'm trying to make a quick buck, I'm trying to make this, that, but like when you chase, like I'm not saying don't chase after making money, obviously, because like you need money to survive. You gotta eat, but like but with things like music and all that, like if your goal is to just like cash out, like just at that point in time, I feel like it can mess with your passion a little bit. I don't know, but like But
and it could also make you take turns and find shortcuts to success that may not be very honorable too. And it just wouldn't have your mind in the right place.
Yeah.
So how do you guys plan on, I feel like this is, who knows, right? We just talked about this right before the mics turned on, but like this could be the first podcast or the first interview of you guys have of many. Like I'm looking at you guys right now, like who knows? I could see you guys on the news one day having an interview with some news broadcasters, right? Well, I feel like it's so cool to hear early on though, like what is your guys' plan? Talk about phones going off. My phone just went off. That's so funny. Let me mute that real quick. But what is your guys' plan? I feel like a lot of people inevitably, dude, like when people get successful, they change. Like honestly, like I don't know a single person that has got major success that hasn't changed, right? Like how has that been affecting your headspace, like mentally, and also like how do you guys plan on just like staying true to your like roots, and how do you plan on staying grounded and all those things?
I'll start real quick because I have something about the whole TikTok stuff. TikTok is like this app where anyone can be famous. And so what I noticed getting all these followers is there was a rush that came to my head. I'm not even playing with you. This is a real thing. When you're getting followers instantly, thousands of them, and likes and comments and all this validation online, there's an actual rush that comes into your head. And for me, I had to control that by literally turning my phone off. Like, okay, maybe I didn't at first because it was like so dope to see all that stuff like blow up. But I had to, I was itching, like I couldn't sleep because I was so excited about all this like clout that was coming. And so, for me personally, I think something that I've seen in gospel and myself is that as we're getting more attention on Cape Lions, we're changing, but I'm noticing that the changes for the better. They're healthier changes, attitude changes that I mean, we're human too at the end of the day, but just little attitude things like whether it's making time for like family, relationships, friends, like actually making that time, like saying Saturday, yo, let's go do this. Like, let's put music aside. Let's not focus on that right now. It's cool. We're getting all these label calls, but like, God's got us. Like, let's just pause that and put what's important first.
I think pretty much it, like, also like obviously like what Edgar says is really dope, and like I think is the team, the people around us, like that. Honestly, like our parents, fantastic, people who are always going to tell us the truth. Like, and we're listeners. Like, we're not the kind of, guys to be like, oh, you cannot, you can't, you cannot talk to us. Don't say nothing. But like, we have really huge respect for our parents and like what their opinions are, and great people around us, good friends, our girls, and just like different people in our lives that keep us level-headed. And then again, like it's crazy, like the things that like if you get like if in the future like we become superstars, are we gonna like, is there gonna be a significant change in our life in terms of like how we're living? Of course, like, but like it's gonna be dope to wake up and see like, hey, I have like more money, more cars, or whatever it is, but like the end of the day is like, would you let that like define you, like make you treat other people like you're better, or like be a.
And I'll tell you what, something that helps keep us humble is the fact that at one point in our lives we were overlooked. At one point in our lives we had like, we know what it feels like to be that person that's on the opposite side, the not successful person, the person that's like made fun of. Like I struggle with, like, I was bullied all the time, like throughout high school. I was half homeschooled and I half went to a regular high school, and I was bullied. I faced that for doing YouTube, wanting to do music. My music wasn't the best when I first started off, neither was gospel's. But like, we know what that feels like. So it's like, we know what it feels to be real, to like real emotion, to feel like let down, to have like had heartbreak, to have been let down by people, by friends, have backs turned on us. We know what that feels like. So when we go up, when we pop off, like, God willing, like we will be able to relate with the people who are in those places. Yeah,
it's like, it's crazy because like we live in a generation where like people are not, honest to talk about like rejections or anything that they've gone through in life. Everyone just wants to portray like this perfect, like I've had everything, like my life looks all put together, even on social media and all stuff like that. Like even for Edgar and I, like, for me too, like I've gone through rejection, I've gone through bullying, I've gone through a situation where I moved to the States and, you know, I didn't have an American accent. I didn't talk like American. I had people laugh at me talk. I remember, I'm not going to say who this is, but like I remember telling someone, I'm like, man, you know what? Like I had an accent. Like, I don't want to say sound the way I sound, but I was like saying, I remember, you know that guy Chris Brown? Like, I want to dance like him and make videos like him sometime, like, and sing like him sometime. And bro, like, this kid looks at me and he laughs like so loud, and like with like, you know, and DM'd, like, messaged some of his friends and told them what I had said, and it was like, oh, his fault, but like it's not gonna do that, but like it's kind of crazy. I mean, it's still a journey, but like it's like we've been on the other spectrum of people thinking they're not cool, they're not like good enough, but it's like our mission is pretty much, you know, reaching out to even people like that and just like saying like we understand what it feels like to be you know, at that other side of things. So if for every success that we have in the future, it would always be like level-headed and, you know, grateful to God for the opportunity. So
it's hard to be fake. I don't like that. I don't like living that life. I mean, I'll admit I did Facetune my teeth one time on Instagram, but I'm over that phase now. I went through a season. We've been through multiple seasons.
And I feel, dude, well, first off, both of you guys, thank you just for sharing that past 5 minutes. That was fire. I just feel like I almost got lost in that convo a little bit. I forgot we were doing this podcast. I was like just listening to your guys' story. But no, but for real though, like that, I think that's so powerful. If you guys are listening to this, I hope you guys are taking something away, because like, I think it's so dope that the TikTok thing happened when it happened, because you have went through a bunch of seasons, quote unquote. You've been through a lot of things in your own personal lives, and now you're using that as a tool, right? Facts. I feel like a lot of people, if like, let's just say yesterday you started like music, and then tomorrow the TikTok thing happened. I don't know if like you'd be in the same position. And so I think that's super encouraging, because if you're listening to this right now and you're like, yo, my life sucks, everything, no, I don't got a friend circle, none of my things are working out, like, just understand that like those are all things that will shape you when like the opportunity does present itself. Because like how boring would it be if you popped off one day and then you were in an interview and they were like, yo, so like what's your story, what's your hardship? You're like, I ain't got none, I just got here. Like people be like, you're lame, dude. Like people love stories, people love an underdog story, people love how people shift into like who they are as a being. And so if you're listening to this and you're just like, man, my life sucks, well, just understand that like that will be part of your story, like when stuff does pop off.
I'm telling you, and we've been in that place. So to whoever's listening, if you're in that rut, if you feel like you're in a place right now where nothing is working, no song, no video, whatever it is that your passion is, if that isn't, it's not, you're not doing it full time, you're not getting it paid, it's okay. It's okay. Just take it one day at a time, because you can get anxious. I've had many sleepless nights where I've just been anxious about the future, and it makes me forget about the present, and I can't utilize just the day and the time that I have. And keep in mind, like, fame, money, that should never be the end goal, ever. Like, ever. And to be honest, I'll be the first to admit that I thought I used to hold that stuff on a pedestal. I used to chase that stuff. And I actually noticed when this was 2017, this was 2 years ago, that was like my goal. Like, that was, like, I wanted to get money. I wanted a better car. I wanted to upgrade my car from like, anyways, that was my goal. And so I surrounded myself with people that was their focus, just getting money. And I realized that was not a healthy place to be at all. And I actually noticed that I made way more progress with Cape Lions and with gospel doing this with the right intentions than I ever did with just wanting to chase money. I moved so slow. I moved ridiculously slow, just trying to focus on making money and chasing cars. Like, again, nothing wrong with chasing that. It's just to what degree, like, are you holding that above, like, your mom who's, like, sick? Like, come on now, you know? Yeah. So anyways.
Big facts.
It's like, it's crazy, but, like, just to encourage, like, never, just whoever is listening, just never give up. Like, you know, like, things might not be bright right now. As he said, like, there were nights where, like, you know, like, I would, like, cry myself to sleep. And, like, I had, like, different things that, you know, I was going through. And it's, like, it's okay. Like, you're not, I feel like also back to the social media. Social media makes it, and just like the internet these days, like kind of makes it seem like, okay, like you have to have your life perfect, everything's sorted out. If you don't, then you're losing in life. No, like if you're down, you're actually a human and you're going through normal life. Don't think that you're worse than any other person, because like the only thing is that you don't even know what the person living next to you is going through, because like you might be up at night thinking about your life, and the person at the house next to your house is probably doing the same thing. So the mission for Cape Lions for us, and I know I can speak for Edgar too, is bigger than just like having millions of fans, or like, you know, trying to have that, or having like dope cars, on having money. It's not that. It's more about leaving a legacy, being able to influence people, impacting people's lives in a positive way. Being religious, I believe that God has made every person on earth for a purpose, and like I feel like music is our purpose, and music is just, for me and Edgar, I feel like it's just a gateway for us to affect lives in a positive way, obviously. And it's like, it's the platform that God has given us through the, you know, the talents that he's given us to, okay, this is your podium, you're going to use music as the podium to, you know, affect people's lives.
Yeah. Has it been hard for you guys to, because like honestly, I mean, because I'm Christian too. I grew up in a very religious background as well, and I believe in God. Do you find it hard to separate what this world right now and like what the media is, and just like in general, is it so in contrast to like what like Christians are taught? Like how have you guys been able to like as artists like put yourself in a different basket, I guess you could say?
Listen, for us, I think we're humans. I think we're all in the same basket. And I think that Christians, and even sometimes just religious groups, we can tend to put ourselves in different baskets and separate ourselves, even with skin tone, skin color. Like I'm Puerto Rican in Venezuela, born in Ohio, like in farm country kind of. And he's Nigerian. And so it's like, it's just like, again, back to our message, we just want to make music that can be played both at like a kids camp, but also on a Coachella stage.
That's what I like though, yeah.
That's so yeah, so cool. Like we're for all people. We're not here to just like slam like God, what? No, none of that. Like we're here to make dope music. You know, we're here to have a good time. Or
like flex with a bunch of cars and girls. Like not like, it's like you just want to make good
music. We might flex with the cars, okay, with our girls. Okay, that's something that we might do. But
good comeback. That was awesome. True. I like that.
And it's like, it's nothing wrong with like being like it's nothing wrong with being like, you know, a Christian and being able to be a dope artist too, you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like people think like if you're a Christian or anything, like there are like limitations. It's like, no, like God has given us the gifts to be able to be creative, like, you know, go out, reach out, like as what Edgar said, you can make a music that's played in at a kids camp and also Coachella. Just like he's given us that. It would be cool to like also be like, oh, my favorite artist is a Christian, you know, he's a Christian and all that. So like that's the whole thing.
That's what's up, man. I feel like we've covered so much ground. Like I think this podcast is going on, almost an hour, I think. So
really?
yeah. So okay, let's kind of start wrapping it up though.
Cool.
Yep.
What for anyone? This whole podcast is conversations with entrepreneurs, creatives, and I would consider you guys content creators, right? Like you're musicians, but you're also content creators as well. You're creating content for people to consume. I feel like a lot of people who listen to this podcast are people who are trying to get in some kind of content game, whether that's creating a business, a model, or photography, videography, music, whatever. What would you say are your guys' like 3 takeaways from like all that you've learned and like this journey of like becoming where you are, and kind of taking the whole like TikTok concept and like just what you've learned so far? If there was like 3 things you could be like, all right, if you don't know what to do, these are 3 things you should like devote your time and energy into, and that would be a good starting place.
I have number 1. I'll say number 1. I'll let you take number 2. Yeah. Number 1, the speed that you're moving doesn't define how quickly you reach success. A lot of people think that if I move fast, if I hustle, if I network fast enough, that'll increase the chances of them getting successful sooner. I wouldn't worry about that. Don't worry about the velocity that you're moving. I've been frustrated tons of times from moving too slow or moving too fast that I just forgot where my positioning was. You just got to position yourself and just walk and just go and take it a day at a time. That doesn't determine, success. And also define first of all, what success is to you. Is it money? Is it cars? Or is it like being able to do your passion full time? Is it to be able to pay for your sister to go to college? I don't know. It's different for everybody. For us, it's to get the message out of just Cape Lions, good music, working with everyone, being cool or whatever, or talented. Like I said, no, I'm just kidding. That would be number one. Just like your speed doesn't determine, how quickly.
That's
your
good.
Success.
I like that.
I also feel like we live in a generation where there are a lot of jack of all trades. Like I feel like you can, it's easy to do this and do that and do that. Like everyone wants to do it because like they don't have I don't know. It's not like I feel like there has to be one thing which every your whatever happens to you has to be drawn back to. Like with the whole TikTok video that he made, at the end of the day, it draws back to the whole music because that's the whole point of it. I feel like that has to be that one. You have to define, as you said, what success is and like what you want to achieve that success with, like what passion that you're going to go with. Because like if you just have your hands in everything, like it's going to be really hard to be, I mean, you could be successful at that point, but like I feel like a Bill Gates or like a Steve Jobs, people like that, they had one thing that they stuck to, develop that idea. And like now, like if Bill Gates wants to open like a coffee business or anything, he could do it so quick. Facts. You know what I'm saying? Like he could open a mall, like he could build a mall. But like, call me Bill Gates. I'm like, but he can open like whatever he wants to.
Because he's stuck to that one thing.
Yeah, because he's stuck to that one thing. And like now he can, just like even Jeff Bezos, like the Amazon guy, like he can like have different things. He can have something like an Uber that's an Amazon Uber, whatever, like, he can just do that. But I feel like when we start off as like young cats in anything, just like even with the internet right now, everyone wants to do everything. And it's like, there's no focus on one passion. So like, instead of giving you
want to be an Insta baddie, you focus on being an Instagram baddie.
Yeah, like it's like there's this song 10,000 Hours, right?
Yeah, with Justin Bieber and Dan Shay.
Yeah, no, not that one. Actually, was it like, what's his name? The rapper from Seattle. Macklemore? Doesn't he have 10,000 Reasons or something?
10,000 Hours is the song that just came out with Justin Bieber.
Oh yeah, but like,
yeah, that was.
I know, song. Like I was trying to sound smart, but I feel like I sound crazy right now. But
shout out Bill Gates.
Call me Bill Gates. Better call me. I'm playing.
No, I'm following.
But yeah, like there's this thing that you have to put 10,000 hours into like a craft.
Yeah, the concept of that. Yeah,
the concept of. I'm so dumb. I'm sorry, but like putting 10,000 hours into a craft, you can like attain mastery in your craft or anything. But imagine if you like split 10,000 hours into different things and not one thing. Like you just make everything suffer because it's like, okay, you're putting 5,000 into music, this into that, and this into that. Then like you cannot really attain full mastery of one craft, but you're just going to be kind of like mediocre in all of them, if that makes sense. Yep. But like that doesn't mean that no disrespect to the people doing different things to survive, because like I respect the grind and the hustle, but I feel like you have to narrow it down to always like that one
huge
passion.
Yeah, those are the two really big takeaways right there for sure. And now
do we need number 3?
I feel like number 3, I feel like those are two really good ones.
You got number 3. I know you do.
Nah, I'm a host. I'm gonna keep it that way. But if you guys have a podcast, have me on. But number 3 though, I do want to cover this though, is that I feel like this is something that's been really healthy for everyone to think about every single day with the society we live in now with social media. How do you guys, this is like a third tip, I guess. How do you guys manage the comparison trap? Like, how do you guys manage that? Like, honestly, everyone's lying if they don't say they don't compare themselves to other people, like on social media. It's just they're lying. Everyone compares themselves. How do you guys kind of deal with that?
I think
it's so easy. I feel like it's such a straight up answer.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's easy for you to compare. Like, comparison is always gonna happen because we're human beings. I'm not gonna be like, you don't compare anybody, focus on you. Like, that's just like cliche kind of like. But like the thing is, just understand that like for me personally, I feel like I'm on a different walk with like any other person. Like, and it's cool if any other person my age or like my same class or anything is achieving a lot of success, like I'm not going to like, you know, like I don't know how.
It'll be hard. You'll look and you'll compare. You'll be like, dang, okay, I've been putting in a lot of hours and I think I'm a little better than this person, but they're moving fast. You just gotta be like rooted in your identity and your own walk.
Sorry to cut you up, but the only person that you should be in competition with is the person you see in the mirror.
Mic drop. Mic drop.
Now I sound smart.
That was a good save. That was a good save from the 10,000 hours, bro.
Yeah, it doesn't mean like punch yourself in the window or something like that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even. I mean, yeah. Honestly, just start getting more. And it takes a little bit. For me, it took a long time for me to be rooted in my identity and my own walk in life. But it takes time, and I've noticed I've started to do that less. I see someone flexing like with a dope car, like on Instagram, and they're a rapper, and I think I'm better than them or something like that. And I'll just like be like, dude, like remember that's not why you started this whole thing. You're on a completely different walk. Like just trust the process. So.
Dude, man, this podcast was fire. Like I've shot about 11 or 12 of these now, and this is fun. That was fire.
Thank you for having us.
No, for sure.
Appreciate it.
That was sick. Well, all right. Well, before we let you guys go, we're gonna wrap it up right here. If people want to hear about Cape Lions, we want to figure out more about you guys, where you want to send them.
Cape Lions. Just search everything Cape Lions.
Everything Cape Lions.
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify,
That's
Apple Music.
CAPELIONS. Cape Lions on Instagram.
All
Spotify.
the musical streams, whatever it is, Cape Lions. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
All right, man. Peace.
Dope.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Thanks a lot, man.